Okay, for this rhythm example, this is almost hinting on lead playing, but how we're going to use it is a very percussive kind of attack. I'll show you what we're going to get. Instead of maybe playing a single note pattern, something like this, by damping all the strings around the ones that we need to hear, we can kill all the other strings and whack the whole guitar, and you'll get this kind of sound. Instead of which is great, especially if you're in a retro rock band, or again if you're the only guitar player and you've got to keep things moving and sound quite busy, but equally you maybe want to go into some kind of percussive or lead based thing. So it's a fairly advanced technique this, but I'm going to show you how to do it and try and keep it simple. We're going to take the index finger, and rather than going slightly tippy, we're going to use what we're hoping you're going to adopt as your normal playing position when you're playing lead. So you're leaning slightly. If I show you where the dent is on the edge of that finger, it's the little finger side of my first finger, leaning slightly in, and then the tip of that finger is going to kill the A string. So as I play the A string, that's dead. My thumb reaches over and slightly leans onto, not pulls into, just leans onto the fat string. Then I'm going to practice with the underside of my index finger, leaning just gently onto the third, second, and first fingers. Sorry, strings. So when I pick them all, you hear a percussive whack, but the one you hear is the one that you're holding. So if I lose my pressure on that index finger as well, everything's going to be dead. So if we practice with 16th notes, we're going to go. So if you notice, what you can also do is when you don't need any note to ring out, you can actually rest your other fingers on the strings. Don't push them in. Just lay them on gently. So that the accent, the one is all the strings, and then you just come into the top end of the other strings. So if you didn't hear any notes, it would sound almost like a train. Then when you're happy with that finger, you then want to introduce your third finger. And it's the same exact idea. The note's holding the finger's holding the note, the top side of it, the tip, is killing the string above it. It's touching it quite heavily to the point where you could rest your pick in there if you needed to. And underneath it, you're killing the other three strings with the underside of that finger and the other fingers leaning in. Thumb's still killing the fat one. So you could go. When you don't need the note to ring out, the other thing I'm doing is taking the pressure off even the note you're holding, so that that's dead as well. So let's do it again on this A note. You go, everything comes off but leans on the strings. Lean on again. So as well as using the single notes, we can also drop in a power chord. Same idea. We're going to do a D. So we're going to take the 5th string, 5th fret, and the 4th string, 7th fret. So if you look at your index finger, that's going to be killing the top string, as maybe the thumb, but probably the thumb is coming down a little bit because it's slightly stretchier. fingers, the little fingers holding the 7th fret, and then killing the other strings, which gives you a power chord. So in this final example, we're going to put it all together. We're going to have this riff. We're going to use it all with this percussive sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. So mess around with that. Use the notes I've given you, or try and find other notes. You can do it on octaves as well. Octaves is quite effective. Possibly easier on the stretch. Just mess around. If you use pentatonic notes, you can't really go wrong on your note choice. And then it's just a case of practicing the technique. Remember, define what your purpose is so you know why you're doing this, because these kind of things can be slightly frustrating. But just make sure you're making sure every little detail is killing those other strings. So when you hit the strings, you only hear that one you need. Okay, go and have fun.